Let's go. Game time.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Better Baby Daddy podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, John Lakshman.
I'm your other co-host, Kelly Burns.
And B, today we're going to jump into some things. And those things that we're going to jump into center around what does your quote-unquote average BD do in certain situations versus what does your better baby daddy do in the exact same situation.
Yes. Hey, big differences there.
Big differences. And just review them. We was talking through things, how this is, how we're going to talk about these situations. Mm-hmm. And we were both just laughing, not really saying things, just laughing because the memories that were flooding back into our brains.
I'm just glad I'm still alive.
Man, I'm telling you, or not locked up, right? Yo.
Must the land of the living and free to
free to roam.
God.
You ready to jump into this?
I'm ready to go.
All right, so B, how does a baby daddy handle communication with his BM, with his children, with the auxiliary parts versus how a better baby daddy handles communication?
Yeah, I would say if I could put it into just one word, John, it would be a baby daddy's reactive. He just, if he gets heat, he gives heat.
Yeah.
Or sometimes he's, what's the word we're looking for? Not defensive, but he doesn't talk about things that need to be talked about in a timely fashion.
Mm. So he withholds information.
Or he's evasive.
So, all right, you're very good. Yeah, I like that.
So both those things, whether you're super reactive or you're like, I should tell her, but I'm not going to tell her.
Yeah.
Both of those lead to situations that just cause more trouble. So, the thing we're trying to highlight is that a baby daddy goes down a path that makes it more and more difficult for him to be an effective father and partner.
Yeah.
Then a better baby daddy is making intentional decisions to be better at both those things, father and a partner, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so I would say reactive, man.
Reactive is a great term. Yeah, you're reactive with your communication and you withhold information. Some people say withholding is lying. You agree with that in this situation?
I think it depends on the spirit of it. Like sometimes you withhold because it's not a good time to do.
Or you're just scared.
But if you withhold and you know that the withholding creates an impression in the other person's mind of an alternative truth, that's you run in parallel with lying right there.
Yes.
They didn't have some key information that they needed. And so, I mean, when you know.
Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
All right. Can you think of a time when your communication was straight BD versus a time when your communication was better baby daddy?
See, I try to block those. I probably have. I mean, I know, we talked last week. There's some times where I was just not myself in some communications.
Yeah.
So I would say, if I'm getting to the point where I'm cursing and I'm talking over you and I'm just like, we just going tit for tat, I'm just in a whole other place because I don't normally carry it that way. And I can remember some distinct examples with, a couple of exes where it was like that. On the flip side, when I'm in my better baby daddy mode, I'm able to shut my mouth and swallow it, even though that feeling is right in the chest. And on my best days, when I'm hitting 400, really batting, right? I reflect back what the other person said. So if I can shut up and then I still have the self-control to say, okay, even if I completely disagree, okay, X or okay, BM, but I hear you saying is you get upset when you feel I don't communicate with you about plans with the boys. Do I have that right? And I still am going to catch some fire. It's just been that kind of relationship. But all I can control is me. So that would be the distinction between, hey, I'm cussing you out in the car and we, somebody get called 911 or I'm able to shut up, hear you and then reflect back what you said.
That part right there, right? Being able to shut up because it's so hard. But here's my thing. If I can walk away from the situation, knowing I stood my ground.
Yeah.
I didn't fire any shots back.
Correct. Yeah.
I didn't bring any negativity to the situation. Right. I let her have her say.
Correct.
I did the right thing. Yeah. Most importantly, I did the right thing. Then I'm cool.
Yeah.
And that is so much more comforting than walking away and be like, damn, I called her a B 5 times.
It's not, and particularly if you can do it in front of kids. And you just said that, it reminded me of a situation with my second ex where she was fired up about, it was transition time.
Yeah.
She was fired up about something. And I remember telling her, I can't talk to you about that right now in this way. I'm going to leave now. We're in the parking lot. She's outside the car, like,
yeah.
And my sons were sitting in the car. And I remember looking at them, looking at their face. And I was like, I just got to eat this right now. But I got to it's like we do in our field when a student is elevated, you just keep repeating their name and the director.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that right now. I'm getting ready to leave. And I remember rolling that window up, putting that car in reverse. Hey, you may want to step back from the car. I don't want to roll over your foot. And that was an intense time where it's like, if I click this door and I open this door up and get outside.
Yeah.
But thank God that.
Yeah, man, those are tough situations.
It is tough. And then later on, and we'll get to this, how you handle that with your kid.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, hey, gentlemen, this is what you saw me do. This is why I did it. And hey, this energy from your mom is coming from this place. She cares for you. It just wasn't the best way to handle it.
Right.
And so you saw me do this so that I wouldn't get elevated.
Right.
And continue to antagonize the situation.
It's extremely difficult. Right. And in that world of communication, I think it's really important what a BD does, text communication, text. Things get so misconstrued via text. Ooh. All the emojis in the world can't save you.
No.
Right? If it's an important, critical type conversation, have it in person. I'm talking not even over the phone,
right?
But definitely not via text.
Right.
Have that conversation in person. Yeah. So if your BM texts you, do, and it's important stuff, like legitimately important information. Yeah. Hey, I hear you. This is very important, and it's so important to me that can we set aside some time to talk face to face about this information?
No doubt about it. And particularly in this day and age where it's so easy to fly off a text. So to ignore a phone call.
Yes.
And delay it.
Yes.
When you're there face to face, you're able to read all the body language and she's able to see you too.
Yes.
And you're able to communicate to her in a more holistic way.
Yes.
Hey, I'm here, I'm present, and it's important to me what you have to say. It might get tense.
Yes.
Those other skills that better baby dads do, listen, reflective speaking, all kind of help to minimize the energy so that everybody can be heard. But it's key point. And that's a fear I have for this generation because we're so used to communicating through the phone.
I tell my BM all the time, if she texts me something, like she had just, my first BM, she had texted me last week or 2 weeks ago, hey, boom, 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 some very important stuff about our daughter. I said, I hear you, but already, I don't like talking about this stuff via text. She was like, oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll set aside some time to talk then. And I say, don't even have that phone conversation. Have that in-person conversation because of the fact that you can't read body language via the phone.
Right.
And you tend to talk over each other on the phone. Very easily.
Yeah.
In person, it's more difficult to talk over each other if you're willing to be patient.
Yeah. Yep. And and the distractions, you can be on the phone and be doing 1,000 other things, but when it's important, you need to lock it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
My biggest fault as a BD, or my biggest weakness as a BD in regards to communication, was I was the king withholder, king in regards to being evasive in certain situations. I was very, very intentional with my verbiage.
Right.
I'm like, I wasn't necessarily lying, but I wasn't telling the truth.
Whole truth.
And we'll get to some of that later in regards, because a lot of these things are going to connect today. Yeah, but communication, a BD, like you said, is reactive, evasive, holds information, and does it in ways that the information is not clear, like texting.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
A better baby daddy does not withhold, is not evasive, is clear and concise in his communication, and does the important communication face to face.
And to that point, when something is difficult, say that your ex-partner does something, you're honest with it. Hey, when you did X, Y, and Z, I felt this way about it. Now, how she responds to that, I don't know, but you have at least gotten it out and say, hey, I'm not trying to be real clear about this interaction between us wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I don't care about you and the kids, but that is not helpful if you build a strong, partnership for the kids.
Agreed, sir.
Next.
Yeah. Time with kids. This one, I'm telling you, B.
Yeah.
So how does a baby daddy handle the time that he gets to spend and the time that he wants to spend beyond what's court ordered or agreed upon versus how does a better baby daddy handle those situations?
Hey, and this is a complicated one because becomes the currency, particularly if you're not the primary physical custodial parent. And so you can get to the point where there's two ways you can go. You can get to the point where you're like an accountant with the time. She's 10 minutes late for the pickup. You're clocking at 10 minutes and you're going to tack that on to, I'm going to get my time back. You're going to tack that on to the drop off the next, she's late, dropping the kids off to you. You're going to be late, 10 minutes late, dropping it back off to her.
Right.
And it becomes this war of minutes. And that's exhausting.
Yeah.
And baby dads just escalate that.
Absolutely.
It's 10 minutes here and then it's a day here and then it's, and instead of this attitude of cooperation. Or on the other end, baby dads, and that's why I applaud you, they can become passive and just allow time to be snatched from them. And so it's a balance between, hey, I'm not going to be so stickly about it that I don't have some leeway when I need the leeway.
Exactly.
I'm just going to give up and you can just kind of do whatever you want to do with the time. And there's no boundaries or limitations. So
you got to give a little in some situations. And then if you do that enough and the other person eventually becomes reasonable, if they're not reasonable because of the emotions that are surrounding the newness of the situation, you get that back. And I've realized that.
Right.
And I don't know if anybody, I had a very intense situation with my first BM when it first popped off. Yeah. We talk about it now and we laugh how stupid we were. Right. But it was so intense, B, that at times, like, I'm driving like an hour and 20 minutes to pick up my daughters on some Fridays because of traffic, because of all types of things. I'm supposed to get down there at 5. You know what time we get off of work. Yeah. So it's difficult. Hey, it's 5:01. You ain't here yet.
Yeah.
It's 5:01. I ain't there yet. But and I can connect this back to communication. I didn't want to text her or call her or say, hey, I'm going to be a little late. Because then I knew if that text or that call, what was coming back was, oh, So I would just withhold and just, because I didn't want to deal with it. There's fear in dealing with that situation, to be 100% honest. Yeah. And then I get down there and, you're a minute late, you're 2 minutes late, you're 5 minutes late, you're 10 minutes late. And then there was a retaliation from that aspect too. Oh, you going to be 5 minutes late? Yeah. I'm going to be 15 minutes late next time. Oh, it's a game. Yeah. It's a game. Being proactive in terms of what times you want your child beyond what's structured already is so important. Right. Or what times you're able to have your child beyond what's structured already. Yeah. Holidays. Yeah. Holidays.
My Christmas.
My Christmas. Yeah. Your Christmas Eve, my Christmas. How does that work? Yeah. Right? July 4th. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Well, we didn't say nothing about St. Patty's Day. Well, but it's my weekend. Right.
July 4th. I want it for the family. The family always gets together for fireworks. Yeah. You can have them during the first part of the day. Yeah. So, and I think you said, before the claim started rolling, just being, again, proactive about, let's look at the next 6 months so we're all clear. Yeah. I'll put it in the email so it's written down because I'll forget some stuff. Yeah. Because what the court sets out is just the basics because the court's like, look, y'all can work it out. Here's our template. We good? Keep it moving. Yeah. But really what they want is for you to they want you to have maximum flexibility. Yes. They want you to have maximum cooperation. Yes. And so that's up to you to navigate that and keep the kids centered, right? Keep the kids at the center of like, what's best for the kids? Yeah. But it's a challenge. It is a challenge. I'm a few years past those real intense every weekend type of things. My kids are much older, but it is a challenge. But like you said, baby dads that don't do it, they either are taskmasters with the time and no flexibility, or really passive. That's what both. Yeah. You have to strike that balance. And sometimes it's literally giving for 3 years to get back 15 years. Man, I mean, you ain't that. you got to play the long hands. I couldn't put it any better, man. Yeah. You might just have to eat some glass for 3 years so that back end of your active parenting time is much smoother than you could ever imagine. Way smoother, man. So yeah, them holidays can be so difficult to navigate, even if it's written into the court order, right? Because there's so much ambiguity in that court order at some times. Like mine was very open. So there wasn't hey, it's your holiday, but it didn't say what time your holiday started. No. Oh, it's my Christmas, but she has my child and your Christmas actually don't start till noon. Right. What? Yo, it's not in the court order. No. It didn't say it had to start at 8 a.m. It didn't say it had to start at Christmas Eve. Yeah. It just said your Christmas day, and here you go. So what a better the baby dad does is real definitive with the communication.
Yes.
While still remaining flexibility and leaning towards what's in the best interest of the child.
Exactly.
And in banking those wins so that you got 18, 21 years of overall wins as opposed to your kid just remembering conflict and battle.
Yes.
The time.
And another thing when it comes to time is trying to get extra time. That is a difficult field to navigate in general. A BD asks for 5 or 10 more minutes, doesn't get it, all of a sudden there's fire. What do you mean I can't get 10 minutes with my extra 10 minutes? I can't get an extra 15 minutes?
Yeah.
I can't get an extra hour? And then there's this back and forth about that situation. A BBD handles that completely different.
How so? How would you say?
Number one, consistently asking in a positive way, no matter what the outcome is.
Okay.
Right? So I asked weekend one, hey, I just need an extra hour. We're doing some things. Okay. No, I'm sorry. I can't do that. Okay. Next weekend comes. Hey, I just need an extra hour. Can we do something with this extra hour? Blah, blah. No, I'm sorry. And it might take 15 weeks, but it also might look like this. So you only need an extra 30 minutes because y'all are driving, doing something. Hey, we're really busy this weekend. I know the drop-off's at 3. Can I drop her off at 5? No way. You can't do 2 hours. All right. Can I get an hour then? I can finish in an hour. No. You can't get a. All right. Can I just get 30 minutes? It's hard to say no 3 times in a row, right?
Yeah.
All right. You can have the 30 minutes. Right. So, but you only needed the 30 minutes.
And you gotta know. And it's being persistent, and there's a sales aspect to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that too, I think as you get, as you settle down with your ex and y'all kind of get into, there's not so much heat and you're more cooperative.
Yeah.
You both know your kid. You might even know different facets of your kid differently. And what has helped me in those times is when you know your kid and you say to the ex, kid number 1 is really into baseball. And there's this thing that doesn't end until 4 that's related to baseball.
Yeah.
It's for him. You're giving some context. You're not just ripping and running the streets with some other woman with the kids that she doesn't know about, like just making it unnecessarily difficult. But it's framed in, hey, we're trying to build into this thing that we both know that he likes to do.
Yeah.
More likely to work with that. So it's not your time. It's, hey, it's time invested in the kid.
Right.
And there's, most partners are not, if they're reasonable.
And at the beginning, they may not. You may not be reasonable and they may not be reasonable at the beginning.
Exactly. So, but we're hoping that, you work towards that, and that's what a better baby dad would do.
Yeah. I went from not being able to get 5 minutes, extra 5 minutes I can get an extra week now during the summer. So it's consistency, it's persistence, and it's maintaining a positive outlook. Right? No matter what's coming at you, you could be getting stoned to death, and you're just like, you know what? This is going to make me stronger.
It is.
Literally.
But be ready for that long haul and leave it's fresh.
Yeah. Put the armor up. And get to work.
And don't do stupid stuff to make it difficult. I mean, it kind of goes back to a couple episodes ago. Like, don't do intentionally inflammatory, stupid stuff to make it difficult for your ex to be in that position to just give you that flexibility. Like
you ask for an extra hour, she says no, and you still show up 20 minutes late just because you want to show off and be mad and be angry and be spiteful.
Kid eating fast food and your ex is a vegan feeding the kid vegetarian food the whole time. Like, don't do that.
Don't do it, man. Oh, man. You ready to jump to the next one?
Yes.
Finances. How does a BD handle finances versus how a better baby daddy handles finances?
Last week was some of the mistakes that baby daddies make. And just being tricky with the money. Like, like either not giving the money you said you was going to give, like flexing, because you have her in a position where she's maybe dependent on the child support, or using it as a thing over her head, or feeling like, hey, I gave my child support. I don't need to do nothing else.
Yeah.
Like,
do we ever?
A baby dad just makes it worse by continuing to flex in that area. A better baby daddy anticipates his kid's needs, meets the needs before he's asked to meet the needs, and is in a mindset that, hey, if it all depended on me, I'm still going to rock with it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, the finance thing is very difficult because when I first got put on child support, if anything was asked for, I was like, I'm thinking to myself, you getting child support? What you need from me?
Same thing.
What? Because when you first get put on child support, you don't view it as I'm helping my child. Right. You view it as like, yo, this B is taking my money.
It's punitive,
Yeah, so it's harmful to you. And it's also harmful not only because your pockets are hurting, because you giving money to someone that you probably don't like that much at this point in your life. So it is a double whammy. So when I would get asked for like this and this and this, I would be like, no, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Or I would do the bare minimum just to say I did something.
Yeah.
At this point now, I'm very proactive in that. I pay child support.
Right.
But when August comes around, I know school's about to start. So I'm not asking what she needs. I'm going to get what she needs.
Right. And your girl's not the same size as she was one school year.
Right.
She's grown.
So I'm right. And of course I'm not spending, $1,000, but I'm going out there and I'm spending money on her school clothes, getting her outfits, getting her shoes, getting her prepared for school.
Yeah. And
then we just showing up at the drop off with the stuff.
Yeah.
And that's how we do things, man. You have to be proactive with that stuff.
Yeah, you do.
And I'm fortunate enough to be in a position financially where I'm able to do that.
Right.
But it was a struggle, man. It was a lot of negatives in the bank accounts.
Yeah.
It was a lot of checks that didn't seem to stretch far enough. So it's a difficult thing to navigate. But then again, when we're talking about what a BD does versus a better baby daddy, a BD is going to attempt to be punitive with his money and withhold things. Better baby daddy is going to be proactive and do what's best for the kid. That's the key. Doing what's best for the kid. Kids first.
And it's hard to, men are attached to their money, right?
Yes.
Most people are, but men, it's like a badge. And so when it gets hit, it's easy to withdraw. It's easy to be nasty about it. But in the long term, like you said, it just does damage to your child.
Yeah.
18 years down the road, your kid won't care that you saved $17 because you wasn't going to give up on that. She should have taken care of that.
And you're going to spend it on beers with the fellas anyhow.
Please, stop playing.
I can remember being so concerned about finances. If I bought myself a new pair of shoes, I wouldn't wear it to pick up or drop off until they look like an old pair of shoes. Cause I didn't want her to see me with something new on. And then she's like, "Oh, we going back to court."
I got new J's.
You can't buy your daughter stuff, but you.
I don't feel too money, but somebody got new J's. It's wild, boys. Yeah. So, but don't be that cat that's nickel and diming and flexing on your kids, really.
Yeah. At the end of the day,
not taking care of your child support and understanding that you're going to have to do extra. So, like you said, with communication, financially, a better baby dad is a planner.
Yes.
And forecast, hey, these needs, and wants to put himself in position to be able to absorb more if he needs to.
And I think the communication about those finances is so important as well. So like connecting back to number one is just being upfront. Listen, whether she accepts it or not, it's your job to communicate properly. Listen, hey, I'm working 2 jobs. I'm paying this. I'm giving you your money as court ordered or what we agreed upon between us. Right now, I just don't have it. And I know you might not accept that. I know you might not like that, but right now I don't have the extra $20. Right?
Right.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I want to do what's best for our child.
Sure. Yep.
So just as you may be struggling a little bit, I'm struggling right now as well. So she might be like, all right, cool. Or she might be like, get a 3rd job.
Right.
Who knows? Right.
Right.
But
be ready for whatever. But that goes back to communication. Hey, don't fight fire with fire. Just be peace.
Right. Absolutely.
All right. This next one.
Yes. Yo. I put myself in some situations with this.
Hey, when that little boy's here, we're all, grown men have emotional needs and physical needs.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we front load that a little too soon, right? So a better baby dad, particularly, something just dissolved, you and the BM are not together. And then
real quick, the topic
is new people.
New people,
right. New people. Introducing either the wrong people to your kid or introducing them way too early.
Yeah. Oof.
So a better baby dad just throws caution to the wind. I can live my life. I'm a grown man. I can do what I want to do. I'm free. And then you use that or a combination of all those things to get into another relationship, serious relationship, that confuses your child because you introduce that person to your child too soon before you've sunset the other relationship.
Absolutely. I was telling you a story. I'm going to tell that story again right now. So I had been split up from my first BM for not too long, not too long at all, right? And I had started a new, fresh relationship because why not, right? Why not? So it probably was, I don't even want to say, it was a short amount of time. I'm just going to leave it at that. It wasn't years. And I had decided that it would be great to introduce my child to my new woman in my life. And we walk around, we're spending the weekend together, doing all types of things together. And I drop off my child at the drop-off time and drop-off place. 10 minutes later, I get a phone call. Who is Tatiana? I said, my child was so young at the time that she got the name wrong. I'm like, I don't know no Tatianas. You tell me who Tatiana is. Hey, I don't know a Tatiana. And then here's so major mistakes I made in that situation. And that begins with introducing way too early. It begins with improper communication. Even if I am choosing to introduce early, communicating that to my BM first. Then being evasive about the situation, withholding information. Because to me, in that moment, although I wasn't being truthful, damn sure wasn't lying either. I didn't know Tatiana. And then my new girl at the time, I'm telling her the story. Another mistake. Why I tell her that? Like, yeah, she called. She was asking who Tatiana was. And then she's like, who is
Tatiana? Got you catching the Tatiana exists.
I'm like, no, she got the name wrong. She was like, then she's like, well, why weren't you just honest about it and say, no, it was da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, you know what? You know what? I said too much. I've done too much at this point. So now I got to go from this side and this side, man.
Hey, what we talking about a couple episodes ago? Collateral damage, unintended consequences, compound effects.
Literally, I did that all in a weekend.
But we laugh about it.
Yeah.
That could be the source of some of your stickiest situations is rushing the process.
Yes.
And don't date. You know, we're not saying don't have relationships with other ladies. We're saying be judicious about when you do it. Well, first of all, who it is.
Yes,
right? Like,
yes.
I say, okay, do I really long-term want this person to be involved with me and my child's life? Because the moment you introduce them, they're involved in your kid's life. Yeah, the moment you kind of start doing things together, they're involved. And so you want to be judicious about the timing of it, who it is. And then I really like what you said about, and it wasn't my first instinct to communicate with the ex about, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to introduce. Be like, no, you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing serial killers and crazy people around. That is another level of maturity, like, and care and concern for the kid. Hey,
yes,
out of respect for you as their parent, I want to let you know that this new element is being introduced. And you would want the same thing with her. You know, she was introducing another dude. But that is a high level of maturity and thinking through it. But BDs don't rock.
No, they do not.
I have 2 or 3 pieces on the side. Floating them in like 8A BA schedule at a school. Like, but a better, I mean, hey, we do some crazy things.
Yo, we do.
Man,
we do.
And, but a better baby dad is intentional about that inner circle he lets into his kid's life, particularly because he knows and he studied developmentally how the impact of the breakup is impacting.
Yes.
So kids still might be navigating that.
Yes.
Questions about that. Drawing pictures of you and mommy and daddy. Because in their mind, that's what they want. And then you have, you know, this fine little hottie from work coming over, or somebody you met on Hinge or whatever coming in, and it just it's a whole nother set of them for them to process, and they're not going to process it like.
No, they're absolutely not. And we talked about how being aware of the signs that your child is giving you, whether it's pictures or conversations or little sayings that she or he has with you, and you don't want her drawing pictures of Tatiana at mommy's house. No, that's not the way you want to introduce people. It's about being mature. It's about being straightforward. It's not about withholding. No, it's just like, hey, listen, I've been dating for 8 months right now. This woman is getting serious. I want to I'm not getting the okay to do that.
Right.
But I'm I'm being man enough to step up and say, this is what's going to happen. I'm not looking for your approval. Right. I'm just telling you what's going to occur.
Right.
You know,
Respect for you.
and I think that, out of respect for you.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's important as well. You're not asking for approval in those situations. If you vetted this person and it's been 6 to 8 months, and you've went through a process with this person, and I was like, you know what? This person would be good in my child's life, would be beneficial, would be a positive influence. Yeah. And if you made that decision, then you don't need to ask for approval.
No. So just be judicious with that with the ex, and then also with your
yes.
That's a separate conversation.
Yes.
Hey, you know, dad's been feeling a certain way, particularly, and make sure that you sunset and put to bed as much as you can the old relationship with the other parent, so that in the child's mind they can go back to, you know, conversations they had with you. When I had to do that with a couple of my boys, hey, you know, your mom and I are gonna get divorced. I remember going to a specific place and doing it at a specific time, so we could have a reference point back. Hey, when I had that conversation with you, it was just to let you know, hey, this is what's going on. These are some things that might happen as a result of that. So in their minds, could be like, hey, it's going to be a shift in mom and dad's relationship moving forward. But, you know, have that conversation with your kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, no matter how young they are, if they're able to, I say, probably about kindergarten and up, you can have some type of conversation.
No doubt.
Hey, this is daddy's new friend.
Right.
All right. And you don't want your child going home like, dang, daddy, or growing up and your daddy had a lot of friends. A lot of friends.
A lot of friends. Right.
But no, this is daddy's new friend. This is Miss So-and-so. So you can have a different type of conversation based on the child's age.
No doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to just throw something at a child. Your child should not see you just hugging or kissing another woman outside of her mother.
Correct.
Like that should not occur out of the blue to that child.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Out of the blue. And it shouldn't be, hey, you know, we're going to King's Dominion and she thinks it's just you, and then you swinging by and picking up Charlene on the way.
Right.
And it's really a family date. And it's the first time your kid is getting exposed to somebody else. So
do you have flashbacks?
I just say, for you fellas that are not in as clean as situations as we talked about, praying for you. We just know that the more clear you can be and more proactive and earlier the communication you can be.
Yeah. And this last one, B, we've touched on a little bit throughout our conversation today, but that's the emotions. How does a BD handle emotions and emotional situations versus how a better baby daddy handles those emotions and those emotional situations?
Right. Yeah, great point, man. Yeah. I think it goes back to the first thing we talked about with the communication, that BD is reactive with the emotion.
Yes.
And he is self-centered about the emotions. Like, it's all about you.
How does it make you feel?
How does it make you feel? How is it going to impact you? And it's immature. You could definitely slide into narcissism. If you haven't resolved the reasons for the breakup and it's all on her, you're not owning your part of it. But I think those are the two main things. They're reactive when things come up, and they're unable to see other people's points of views. A couple of points that we talked about is like, you got to consider your own emotions, but then you got your kids' emotions.
Yes.
You got your baby mother's emotions.
Yes.
Because, you know, I heard one of my exes talk about a situation in the family where there was some conflict, and she said, I caught it. I was like, she's absolutely right. She said, everybody has a story. Everybody has a reason why they're responding to a thing. And the more you're able to kind of put yourself in that person's shoes, the better you're able to manage your emotions and understand theirs.
Yes.
So a baby dad is just, it's about me. She ain't gonna punk me. I'm not gonna look like this. Me. And a better baby dad has taken time to reflect on their part of it, sometimes more than your part of it.
A lot of times we're doing more.
Absolutely.
As men, it's part of the process, man.
Yeah. For the sake of peace and moving to a solution.
Yeah.
You just have to eat some stuff that you didn't put on your plate sometimes. And so, so that, I think that's a distinguishing factor with a better baby dad.
I agree. Baby daddy is strictly reactionary emotionally. Better baby daddy does take that time to reflect, think through. And the phrase that I thought of while you were speaking, they are good at perspective taking, right? Well, I'm able to, maybe I don't agree with your perspective, but I can step over there. All right, I see where you're coming from. Or maybe I don't see where you're coming from, but I understand to a certain extent why you're saying the things you're saying. You're emotionally driven in this moment because of whatever's occurring, right? But being able to take that perspective at some percentage level and being like, all right, stepping outside of yourself. Step outside of yourself. Think about your kids. Think about yourself. but also think about your BM and why she may be reacting the way she's reacting.
No doubt about it.
One of the things that has freed me emotionally is just been taking extreme accountability for situations. But it's also, interestingly, freed her emotionally as well. So I was just reflecting one day about all the things that we had been through, like from the very jump to that day. And I was like, let me talk to her. We're talking, and I said, you know what? I take accountability for all those extremely negative situations that we encountered. I said, no reason. I don't have no explanation. I'm not trying to give you excuses as to why those things occurred, but I take full accountability for all those things. And it was just like a relief for me, because I thought from the perspective, you know what? I could have did something different in each and every situation. No matter what she did, I could have did something differently that would have altered the course of that situation in a better way. And her response was, well, thank you. Like, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I wasn't looking for her to take accountability, but then she started to take accountability for things. And that, I believe, was one of the primary catalysts for this complete direction shift in how we interact with each other now. She was like, oh, well, here you go. He took all this. I'm like, you know, I did some things wrong as well. And then it was just like this freeing of the emotional tension that had existed for so long. You know? So, yeah, I think a better baby daddy is great at perspective taking, is great at reflection, doesn't allow his emotions or another person's emotions to dictate his words or actions. I think so often we allow another person's words and emotions to dictate our actions and our words. And that is a major mistake.
It's a sign of emotional immaturity, and not that you're an immature person, but you just have some growth to do.
EQ.
Right? EQ. And I was like, I heard a phrase that, high EQ people bring their own weather. They don't let outside circumstances dictate, like you said, how they're going to move and shake. They are the weather. And, it's a magical moment when you can get to the point where, like you said, you took accountability. And normally, gentlemen, when we initiate that, we're going to receive that back. Our ladies are reflective. I don't care if it's an ex-lady, they reflect back what you give them a lot of time. And if you give kindness and you're owning the thing, it is hard for a person to continue to be intensely angry at you when you're saying, hey, Miyako, I could have 17 years ago, I could have done that. I really realized I want to make sure that I was thinking about it. I want to make sure you knew that that's how I thought about it. And it's like a cloud lifts.
Literally.
Times in my life with a couple, my two exes, where that kind of thing was the key to unlock a whole different way to navigate the relationship. But it takes maturity on your part. You don't kind of arrive at that.
No. It's a process.
A lot of baby dads can kind of they can have arrested development in terms of being able to go to that next level. Because it takes humility to say, I was wrong. I was a dog. You went scorched earth because I did this.
What I did.
So, so emotionally understanding is not all about you. Hey, taking into consideration your kids' emotions, their stages, and when you get to the point where you're thinking about your baby mama's take on the situation, how something you might do might impact her, even though y'all aren't together. Y'all are well on your way.
Accountability is interesting. It's very, very interesting, because I believe accountability, it's going to sound odd, is a selfish act because of what it brings to you, right? It brings this freedom. Like, that was me. I own that. And there's this power in understanding that now, if I was responsible for that, that means I'm responsible for everything that occurs in the future as well. So it's a selfish act in a sense.
But not selfish in a negative. It's good for you.
It's
a regenerative thing.
It helps you.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing. If you're going to take accountability for these situations that have occurred between you and your BM, don't go in with the expectation that you're going to get the same thing back immediately or get it back ever. You're doing this for you and your kids, right? That's, at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. It might bring her relief, and she might not be able to verbalize that accountability aspect. But I promise you, her actions, well, I shouldn't say promise. I don't know. Everybody's situation is a little different. But for me, her actions verbalized the accountability. So when I did that, she did take some accountability verbally, but her actions after that have shown that she's accountable as well.
Sometimes I show up. I don't know, but you shared some situations. it seems like this is the case. What it'll look like initially, gentlemen, is that your BM will gas you up to your kids.
Yo.
She will elevate
Yo.
to your kids. Even though your relationship is gone and the way it was, she will speak kindly about you to the kids. She'll compliment you to the kids.
Yeah.
That's the deposit that you'll see, as opposed to that broke you. You know, it's just a different level.
We're talking interest is what we're doing, right? Well, I'm putting $100 in the bank, once a month and allowing it to compound. Once a month, I'm putting $100 in, boom, 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 and pretty soon I'm Warren Buffett. That's what it's about right there. And it's consistency, it's persistence, and every time you get kicked in the nuts, just grit your teeth and go.
Right. No, you just, but emotionally and figuratively, put yourself in a position to be vulnerable, but that's how you grow.
And it's finding ways, as we talked about in other episodes,
Right.
is to release that in a positive way.
Yes.
Right? At the end of the day, you want to be accountable for your actions and your words.
Right.
You can't control what anybody else does. No. So it's being accountable for you specifically and being responsible for you and your children. Yep. At the end of the day, that is what it is about.
And that's the distinction between a baby dad. So we hope that was helpful, plus the last episode we did on 10 mistakes that baby daddies make. But these are some contrasts between, in the moment, this is what a baby dad does, and then a better baby dad.
Yes, sir. All right.
That was a full one.
That was a good one.
Okay.
I like that one.
All right.
All right.
Until next time, I'm Kelly.
And I'm John.
All right.
Peace. Good stuff, man.